Welcome. Today we are going to explore Azure Storage Replication options, which ensure your data is highly available and protected. We'll cover some concepts for LRS, GRS, ZRS, and RAGZRS, plus RAGRS as well. I know it sounds all complicated. Trust me, it is super simple. We will also see how to choose the right redundancy option for your organizational needs. So let's get started. Well, LRS stands for Locally Redundant Storage. So let's start with that. LRS replicates your data within a single region. It is designed for hardware failure protection in the same region. This is the most cost-effective option, but offers lower redundancy compared to other options. Remember, in LRS, Azure maintains 3 copies or 3 replicas, but in the same location. Now, if one of the server goes down, still your data is available. If the rack goes down, still your data is available. But if the whole region is out, then your data is not available. So what is the use case? Well, LRS is perfect for cost-sensitive applications that don't require higher disaster recovery options or regional failovers. The next is GRS, Geo-Redundant Storage. Well, GRS replicates your data to a secondary region, ensuring that in the event of regional failure, your data is still available from the secondary location. This provides higher availability and is essential for disaster recovery scenarios. Best use case for GRS is for businesses who need disaster recovery options and ensuring data availability in case of regional failure. The next was ZRS or ZRS, which stands for Zone Redundant Storage. Well, ZRS replicates data across multiple availability zones within a region. This ensures high availability and resilience to zone-level failure or data center-level failure without losing your data. Best use case? Well, ZRS is best suited for workload that need high availability and can't tolerate zone-level outages or data center-level outage, but also don't need to replicate data across multiple regions. Next is RAGZRS. The only difference is RA, which stands for Read Access Geo-Redundant Storage. Well, finally, RAGZRS is very much similar to GRS, but with the added benefit of read access to your data in the secondary region. This allows for improved availability and faster recovery, since you can actually read data from the secondary region even if the primary region is down. Use case? Well, RAGRS is great for applications that need to read data from the secondary region during the failover, ensuring minimal downtime. Now, how will you select the right option? When choosing the right storage replication option, you have to understand that LRS is for basic protection within one region, one data center actually. GRS or RAGRS are best for data recovery in case of disaster. So it is best for DR, disaster recovery, providing a secondary region for failovers. And then you have ZRS or ZRS. This is perfect for high availability within a region with high resilience to availability zone failure. Let's go to the lab and check out how easy it is to actually implement all these replication strategies. I will see you in the lab.
All right, welcome to your next lab. In this lab, we will check out some storage replication strategy in Azure Storage. So I'm here in my Azure portal, and I already have one resource group called NITARG, which stands for resource group. And let's create a storage account. Well, when you create your storage account, you get a choice to select a replication strategy straight away. Yes, you can make some configuration later on as well. So let's start by creating a storage account from scratch. So as you can see, I don't have any storage account created. So let's click on create. Then select your subscription, select your resource group, that will be NITARG, and give your storage account a unique name. Remember, the name must be lowercase and globally unique in multiple tenants as well. So I will call it NITA storage account. Yeah, nobody actually used it. Region will be Canada Central. Well, in live production, the region must be as close as possible uh, to your actual customers or your users or employees. This gives us better latency, plus more throughput, and better quality of service. Now, what will be the primary service? Again, Azure asks for primary service to make sure that they create a storage account which is tailor made to perform better for that specific selected service. But even if you select Azure file, you are still allowed and you're still able to create blobs as well. Now, the performance. Well, if you select standard, then you get all four types of data storage, that is blob, container, queue, and tables. If you select premium, you have to make a choice. Like, do you want premium blobs or premium file share or premium any other type of storage structure? Premium simply means that Azure will give you the lowest latency possible and highest throughput. But we will select standard. Then you will select your file sharing billing. I'm good with pay as you go file shares. Now, this is where the replication strategy can be decided. So, redundancy. First of all, do you want your data to be redundant? The answer is yes, because it provides you high availability. Now, there are multiple ways you can do it. LRS. LRS stands for locally redundant storage, where 3 copies of your data will be saved, but locally in the data center or in just one place. Now, how many copies you will see? Just one. If you save one image, let's say, you will only see one. At the back end, Microsoft maintains multiple copies just to provide you high availability. Now, in this case, if something goes wrong with, let's say, a hard drive of the server where your image is saved, no problem. Your image is still saved in other 2 hard drives. Remember, there are 3 copies. So it protects you from hard drive failure, even server failure or node failure. But what about the whole zone is out? The whole data center is out and you cannot connect with it. Well, now you lost your connection with your data as well. In that case, the second option could be ZRS, Zone Redundant Storage. Again, in this, 3 copies are created, but 3 zones are selected. So 1 copy stays in one zone, the second copy goes in second zone, and the third copy goes in the third zone. Now, this also protects you from node failure, a rack failure, the hard drive failure. But if the whole zone is out, you still have your data in other 2 zones and you can access it. So data is highly available. The next option will be GRS, Geo Redundant Storage. Now, if you select this, then Azure will distribute your data in 2 geolocation. In the first geolocation, you will have 3 copies of data saved in just a single zone though. In the second geolocation, again, your data will be saved in just a single zone. Here, one region will be called the primary region and the other one will be called the secondary. In the primary region, you actually perform all your tasks. So you have read and write access. And how many copies are saved in primary region? 3. Now, the secondary region, you cannot access it. Azure used it as a backup to provide you your data in case of the whole region is down. Next, the other two are just a combination. So you have GZRS, Geo Zone Redundant Storage. Again, remember, in this one, two geolocations will be selected. Two geolocations will be selected. One will be the primary geolocation, and the other one will be the secondary. Now, what's the difference between GRS and GZRS then? Well, there's only one difference. In the primary region, data will be replicated 3 times, but not in one zone. They will be replicated in 3 zones. So the primary region will have 3 zones, and the secondary only have 1. So let me do a recap. In total, in GZRS, 2 regions are selected and 4 zones are selected. 3 in the primary region and 1 in the secondary region. This makes the availability of the data even more, available. You can say 99.99%. Now, in GZRS and GRS, there are 2 regions, primary region and secondary region. Remember? Now, even if your data is protected, if the whole primary region is down, well, you don't lose your data, but you lose the access to your data. What if you want access to your data at least? In that case, if you see here, let's say I select GRS and I click on this checkbox, make read access. In this combination, this becomes GRS RA, read access. So RAGRS, you can say that. So read access geo redundant storage. It simply means that in your primary region and secondary region concept, if primary region is out, still you will be able to get read access on your secondary region. All right, this makes your data even more highly available and you can at least read your data. The next one is also same, RAGZRS. That means primary region may have like 3 zones, it doesn't matter. If the whole region is out, you lose the access to your data. In that case, you will at least get read access on your secondary region. Now, just last concept before we move forward. Why you only get read access? Why not write? Well, all these regions are synced together for data replication. So they follow a master-slave combination. Now, if you are syncing 2 locations and you make changes on both sides at the same time, then the sync can actually break or the data will be corrupted. So only one side is supposed to actually change or alter its database or data. The other side will just sync it. Try to keep it same. All right. I hope now you know all these replication strategy. You can select whatever you want. Let's say we select LRS and we will figure out if we can change it later. So click next. Nothing in advance. Networking, I'm going to make it publicly available. We are not checking all this. We are just checking data replication. Next, I don't want soft delete functionality because I want to delete it after this demo. If I select soft delete, then my data will be deleted, but it will go on a temporary hold for 7 days. After 7 days, I can permanently delete it and delete my storage account. Encryption will be there, of course. All right. And let Microsoft manage the keys. Tags, and then you review and create. You review it and you create it. Perfect. So now I will let the storage account deploy, and then we'll move forward. All right, as you can see, my storage account is deployed. Let's go to the resource now. So this is the storage account. Now, where will you find options related to replication, high availability, and all that stuff? Well, I will go through all of it. Data storage? No. Security and networking? No, it's all about access control and networking, plus the security and SaaS keys. Data management? Yes. Now you are managing the data. If you see here, data redundancy and data protection. Click on redundancy. Right now, this is just an overview. Right now, my data is saved here in Central Canada, and I'm using LRS. If you want to change it, can you? Yes, you can. But as you can see, you have limited options now. GeoZone redundant storage is not available, and read access GeoZone redundant storage is not available. You have to select it earlier, where you select the zones. Now the storage account is already created, so you only are left with these options. Let's try this one. Okay. Once you select it, you have to save it. So let's see what happens. Let this finish. And here we go. So Azure selected the nearest zone. Failover cannot yet initiate because initial data synchronization from the primary secondary region is in progress. So this will finish quickly for me because there is no data in my storage account, but the time may vary. It depends on how much data you have. It needs to synchronize on both locations. Then this message will go away. Okay, and this is how you can change your replication strategy. Now, after this, you also have one more type of replication, but that is not replicating your storage account. That is object replication. Yes, it is also possible to replicate certain objects like data set from one storage account to other storage account. Imagine you have two storage accounts where you want to replicate some stuff. Let's say it's a blob or maybe a file in the file share. You can use this feature set. That is object replication. You go here and then you create your application rule. Basically, it will just allow you to copy your objects from this account, right, onto another, or from another account to this one. So, do you need two storage accounts for this? Of course. So, I'm going to create one more storage account just for the demo purposes. All right, so I have two storage accounts now. One is NITA SA and the other one is NITA SA01. Here, two. So how will you create a object replication strategy? You just have to create a rule. And remember, this is asynchronously synchronized to your other place. So the synchronization process will not start immediately. It takes time. But eventually, the objects will be synced on both locations. So all you do is just click on Create Replication Rules. You select your destination account. So I am in NITA storage account 01, so my destination will be the another one, that is NITA SA. Now you select, what do you want to replicate? Well, I only have one container, so you just see one. This is my container. All right. And where do you want to replicate this container's objects or data set? Well, in other storage accounts container called NITA SA. Now, destination container cannot be source container in the other policy. Yes, there's one more policy, which is again syncing from this location to this one. So I can create one more. Let's go there and create a container. Let's call it demo. Perfect. Let's go back. Now this will be demo then. And you just click on create. That's it. Now, the rule is created, but you will not see the content immediately. It takes time. And if you have a lot of content, it can take a lot of time. But once the replication is done, you will see that your content is present on both locations. All right, an operation is currently performing in storage. So don't worry about this error message. Actually, I already started a synchronization process. I can show you that. And this will take some time. If you go here on object replication, I'm already syncing the container from NITA SA to NITA SA01. So whenever there is a sync process going on, you cannot perform another sync process. So that is also something to learn. So I have to just wait for this, and then you can create another rule. That's it for this lab. I hope now you understand what replication can actually do for you and how it actually makes your data highly available. Thank you for being with me, and I will see you in the next lab. Take care.
Welcome back. I hope now you know how easy it is to actually select which replication methodology you want to use. The only complex part is to understand what your organization needs. What is the scenario? Once you know that, selecting the right option is straightforward. So in summary, Azure Storage Replication options give you the flexibility to choose the right balance of cost, redundancy, and availability. LRS is for low-cost single region or single data center redundancy. GRS is for multi-region disaster recovery. ZRS is for high availability within a region. RAGRS is for read access during failover for faster recovery and less downtime. Choose the best option based on your availability requirement and budgets. Thank you for tuning in. This is it for this episode. I will see you in the next one. Take care.